All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen really fast. All right, hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in to our webinar today on Back to School Assistive Technology. I am James Whitney, and I work for the Maryland Assistive Technology Program. And we are a program underneath the Maryland Department of Disabilities. And a little bit about us. I'm going to start with like a little intro to our program for anyone who might not be aware of what we do and our services in the state of Maryland. So in a nutshell, we provide statewide access to assistive technology devices, or AT, and we do that through equipment demonstrations, equipment loans. We also have a reuse arm and a financing arm of our program. And we also do trainings, webinars, a lot like this one today. And our website is www.mdtap.org, and that is our acronym MDTAP. And we service the entire state of Maryland. And I'll get to a little bit about that in a second. But to start off, what is assistive technology, or AT? And that can be a wide variety of items. And that can be very low tech items. That might be a pencil that has a special grip on it that could allow someone to be able to hold and grasp that pencil more effectively for handwriting. It could be something as high tech as eye gaze technology to allow a user to get on the computer with just their eyes and also navigate through the computer, through websites and so on and so forth, with their eyes being the mouse, and lots of things in between. We have a full library of assistive technology devices that I'm currently sitting in today. And we have items from activities of daily living, such as eating, bathing, grooming, and things as well to improve also magnification devices to just better be able to see things at a larger font. Also devices that can allow users to get on the computer. We have devices for deaf and hard of hearing individuals and speech devices and so on and so forth. So we have a lot of different things in our library, and we're able to serve the entire state of Maryland, all age ranges, and all disabilities. We do have a overview commercial right here that really kind of explains our services just a little bit more in depth. I am not going to play that right now. It's like 2 minutes or so, but I do recommend watching it if you would like to learn just a little bit more about just what we do, just a little bit more detail. But also, I'm an occupational therapist, and I work here as the assistive technology clinician. And I can do individual one-on-one consultations with our clients. And I can sit down with them. Basically, I would have them come into our library, and I would sit down with them and have a conversation about their history with any disabilities that they might have, whether that's progressive, chronic, acute, and so on. And we can also talk about their experience and history with using adaptive devices and assistive technology. And at the end of that consultation, I should have a better idea about that individual. And at that point, I may be able to recommend certain AT products or devices. And if we have them in our library, which we're always buying all kinds of new things just to help stay with the latest and greatest. And if we have that device here, then I can demonstrate that device right during that consultation. I can show a number of different devices, how they work, how to power them on, all the different nuance features. And if that client would like to borrow that device, it's like a library for books here, but instead of books, we have devices. And I can loan out that device for up to 30 days at a time. And that allows our clients and users a chance to take those devices home, try them out, whether that be at school or at work or just at home. It gives them a chance to trial and error, see what devices they do like, see what they don't like, because that's also good information to have that can help us cross things off the list as, okay, we tried that and let's move on and try something else next. That way our clients in the state of Maryland don't end up buying something that does not work for them, or it just sits in a box and just doesn't operate the way that it's marketed, because all kinds of marketing is great these days, and they really make every device seem like it's going to fix all your problems, and some will, and some just might not be a good fit. And that's why there's all kinds of different companies, vendors, and we try to acquire lots of different devices from all kinds of different companies. So that way we have a wide variety so that our clients can see what's out there and try them out personally. And hopefully they can make a informed purchase decision so that they have the device that they like, that they tried, practiced, and so on. And as I was saying earlier, we have devices for blind low vision, such as video magnifiers, eating utensils over here, smart home devices like Amazon Alexa, and all different kinds of smart features, smart plugs, light bulbs, things like that. Even deaf and hard of hearing. Over here is a visual alert device, so that would flash when there's an alert, such as a doorbell or maybe the fire alarm's going off. And if you aren't able to hear that alarm, then having a visual representation of the alarm is a game changer for anyone who's hard of hearing or deaf. We also have devices for school and work, and I'm going to get into all different kinds of school devices today at this webinar. But we have things to help get on the computer, keyboards, mice, and so on, apps. We also have iPads with all kinds of different apps on them, whether that's scheduling or organization or speech devices apps, and even AT for fun. So we even have adaptive video gaming equipment. We just built out 2 gaming kits that we're actually able to loan out a full gaming kit for adaptive gaming. So if any programs or schools or other agencies wanted to host their own adaptive gaming night, we'd actually be able to give them an entire kit that has everything you would need to do so. And we're also hosting a adaptive gaming night here at it's the Workforce Technology Center, and we're right by Morgan State over here off Argonne Drive. And we do have a registration for that, and that is September 27th, towards the end of this month on a Tuesday. And that'll be from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. So there's a 2.5 hour window there where we're going to have all the stuff set up, and we're inviting anyone who would like to register to come and basically just hang out and play video games and just try out different adaptive gaming devices. So people with all kinds of disabilities and those without disabilities, we can all hang out together and basically play video games. And we also have adaptive like playing cards, bingo cards, and all kinds of other stuff here as well. And really quick, I mentioned we have a financial loan arm of our program, and we are able to loan out a loan that it does have interest. So this is a low interest loan, and that can be anywhere from $300 to $50,000. And that is for the sole purpose of assisting our clients in Maryland to be able to purchase assistive technology. So this is for AT. And they can get the money in their hands quicker so they can get what they need instead of trying to just go another route for financing or just waiting. And that could be for things like adaptive driving vehicles, home modifications for maybe like lowering countertops, widening doorways, installing a ramp to get in and out of your home, and so on and so forth. So I just wanted to mention that. And again, this is all the different things that you can use our AT financial loan for. And that could be almost anything that's considered assistive technology. And that is a wide variety of devices. So anything from low vision, hard of hearing, any kind of physical disabilities, computers, and so on and so forth. We're able to assist with the financial loan. And we do have an application process for that. And anyway, so I'm going to get started with what everyone came here for today. And this is our back to school assistive technology webinar. So for reading, writing, organizing, and anything else that just might help students get back in the school flow. And a lot of these devices can be applied across age ranges. So I'm going to start off with like comprehension, reading, learning, and things of that nature. So I want to start off with just kind of giving a brief just brief definition of what optical character recognition is, or OCR. As this is a term that's thrown out quite a bit in the assistive technology world, but essentially OCR is a fancy way of saying text to speech. So it's taking text that is on a sheet of paper, or also sometimes handwritten is able to work, and that can take a photograph of that text and it can read it out loud to you. So it takes a photo, it can scan that text, stores it in its little brain. It just depends how big that device is. And then it can actually recognize the letters, spaces, the punctuation, and all that good stuff as sentences, words, paragraphs, and so forth. So there are lots of different OCR devices that exist, and one of them, which is a great one, I think, for school, because it's like the size of like a highlighter. Essentially, it's a little bit bigger than like a pen or pencil, just because it's wider, but it's about the same length. And basically it acts as a highlighter, and then I can take this thing, I can hold it in my hand, and I can scan a word. And you basically just press it down on the paper, and then a light will actually pop up on it. So that's how you know it's on and scanning. That it'll have a light shooting down at the word, or on the paper anyway. And I can scan a word. And then once I'm done scanning, I'll just lift that off the paper, and it'll read that word out loud. So it'll say it out loud, so then I can hear it, I can read it. So I have two different senses working right now. And then I also have another setting in here, or I'm sorry, feature, that it can actually take that word and define it for you as well. So maybe I'm reading and one word in there really throws me off and I'm frustrated now. Now the whole paragraph's out the window, but I can take this device, and if I ever come across a word that I'm not sure how to pronounce, or I don't know what it means, I can scan it with this pen and I can define it right there. It has a little screen on it, and it'll pop up. It'll say it out loud first, so I can hear it, and then it'll give you a definition as well. And that doesn't have to just be one word at a time. It could be a whole sentence. You just have to keep scanning, and then every time I lift that off the paper, it'll then speak out. But then I can always just keep scanning, and it'll just keep adding the words, so it'll be a whole comprehensive sentence or paragraph there. And it has a headphone jack as well. So if I'm in the classroom setting, then I can get approval from a teacher ahead of time that I could have my headphones in. And that way it doesn't have to be loud for everyone else to hear, and I can have a little discretion as I'm using this device. And there are lots of other OCR devices. I just wanted to put a few here, and I listed pricing just to give a ballpark. But C Pen Reader Pen is actually around $250. So not nearly as much as these other ones, but there are other options. So over here is a bigger standalone unit. It can sit on a desk, might be better for at home instead of taking that to school with you. But maybe I'm at home reading textbook, or I'm trying to learn other material that was sent home with me. Then I could use this, and it can take a picture of a whole page at a time. And then it has a little LCD screen on the front. So I can actually follow along with it as it's reading that word, paragraph, page. And I can play, pause that. I can go back. I can start over sentences. So it's a little bit bigger of a unit, but really great. It can it even has a hard drive inside of it, so I can store certain important material, and I can save those, and I can view them back at a later time. And over here is another one, the Orcam My Eye. It can clip to the side of glasses. And this is oftentimes it's used for individuals who might be blind or low vision, but also great for the OCR capabilities. So for anyone who might have any kind of dyslexia or overall learning impairment or disability, excuse me, then it can speak out any of that text. And so the Orcam My Eye clips the glasses, and the Orcam Read is down here, and that's also pen or highlighter size and shaped. I can hold that in my hand. I can press a button on it. So very portable, easy to take around, and it'll take a photograph of whatever's underneath of it. And then it can read that out loud to me. And I wanted to also just touch on this one over here. This is the HumanWare Connect 12. Is this device that's portrayed in this image. And Connect 12 is a video magnifier. As well as an OCR device. So it's kind of combines them in one. And it doesn't have to be this exact device, but I like this one because it has another feature that kind of makes it stand alone. It's a little bit more unique is that it has this distance camera. So that's the camera sitting up here towards the right of the device. And as you can see here, it says agenda, and that's kind of reading off the board over here. So it can actually zoom in across the class or wherever you might be. And so it can also magnify text that's underneath of it. So if I have a book or something like that, it can shoot straight down and I can magnify what's right in front of me. But I could also switch the mode to distance camera, and I could get a better visual of what's across the room. I can zoom in on that, and so forth. And then it also has, so if I am zooming down on text in front of me, like a book or any other kind of document, then it does have OCR capabilities as well. So I can do text to speech with this device. And it actually is Android software, and it actually is a tablet as well. So I can pop that tablet out. It doesn't have to stay in the holder, although the holder makes it a lot easier to use. So that's the HumanWare Connect 12, really great device. We do have one here if anyone's interested. Actually, every device I've shown so far, we have here in our library, and we're able to loan those out. And just while we're still on OCR and just text to speech, I did want to mention that there is a free app called Seeing AI, and that's seeing like you're seeing with your eyes, and AI for artificial intelligence. And this is free. And it's able to be downloaded on iOS, Android, and also also on our Microsoft products. Excuse me. Okay, sorry, I was making sure that I pressed record because I oftentimes forget to, but I did. So we are live. So anyway, this is a great device here that it has a few different modes on it, and it was created for individuals who are blind, low vision. So it can just read text straight off pieces of paper for you. The documents, it can take photos of them. It can also scan barcodes. And I try this all the time, and it always amazes me, but I scanned a barcode with my bottle of water, and just off the barcode, it'll tell me exactly what kind of bottle that is. It's a bottle of spring water. And so it doesn't know every barcode in the world, but 9 out of 10 times it's accurate. So that's always a cool feature. And it can also scan currency and tell you what kind of dollar bill you're holding. But the OCR capability is really excellent for a free app. So if anyone has an iPad, iPhone, or any other kind of smartphone, it's a great app to download for free. And there's another one called the KNFB Reader. And this does cost, I believe it's $100. And this is just another device, or I'm sorry, an app. So I could download the KNFB Reader again on any of my smart devices. It's a little bit more advanced than the free app. It can offer a few extra things, but ultimately it has overall similar features. And again, so in the classroom, it might be a good idea to have audio recorders. So just while there's a lecture going on, or I'm in the middle of just the class, and it might help to be able to have printed material I can go home and read, but it might also help to have an audio recorder that I can sit out on my desk, and I can capture the audio of the teacher speaking that lecture. And it's great to listen back to when you get home. So you're not just reading, but you can hear. And again, just incorporating more senses into your learning can really help with comprehension and just having all that material stick with you. And I would see a lot of students using these when I was in grad school and so forth. So this is not anything that's groundbreaking or new. But it is something that might be overlooked sometimes as an option, is that typically you are allowed to bring a recorder in with you, and just have another way of having that classroom material just like recorded. So next I'm going to get into a couple of writing aids, and there's so many out there on the market. And if anybody's curious about just all the different kinds, please reach out to me and I can elaborate. But there's 20, 50, 100. I mean, I've seen so many different versions of a pen or pencil. I didn't want to include all of them in this PowerPoint because that might just eat up our whole hour here, or 45 minutes, but prior to Q&A. But there's so many different shapes and sizes that can help with anyone who might have any kind of just overall difficulties grasping a pencil with that tripod grasp. So having something that can fit in your hand a little bit differently. Over here is basically I can slide a pen into this, and his first image is the big grip pen. And that just gives you just a larger just shape to hold on to. So that can be easier to put in your hand for anyone who might have any kind of fine motor control impairment or any dexterity limitations. Over here is the pen again. And again, is I can have my index finger kind of come through this horseshoe shape here, and it kind of slides in there and gives you a little bit more stability while you're writing. At the top here, this is a round writing ball, and that's can oftentimes be used with anyone, again, with any kind of fine motor control deficits, for anyone who might have had spinal cord injury or anything else that might kind of inhibit their ability to close their hand all the way. So having something that's a little bit bigger, I can hold in my hand with a pen or pencil attached to it, and I can write that way. Also great for anyone who might have arthritis, as it kind of fits in your hand a little bit just larger. I don't have to close my fingers quite as tightly, and I don't have to use all those small distal joints in my fingers, but I can kind of rely more on gross body movements and not having to stress my hands so much. And there's also one down here. This is the writing bird, and a pen or pencil can slide into this hole. You can tighten it down, and then I can move that pen or pencil around with my hand, and not have to hold on to the pen or pencil. And also having a non-slip mat can be a great way for people to have more stability and confidence with writing, is not having to hold that paper down from sliding all over the desk, but having a grippy mat or surface that I can write on is a great way to help just overall increase success with writing. And we also have just so many other various grips. Also, weighted pencils can be another great option, is just to have a little bit extra weight in there. And it gives you just a little bit more biofeedback that you are holding that pen or pencil, feeling the weight, and it might assist some users with being able to increase their writing. And next, I want to talk about a smart pen, or a pen top computer is what these are referred to as. And right down here, we have the Live Scribe is the company, and the pen is called the Echo 2. And this is a pen that it comes with its own like smart paper, and it can also be used on an app as well. So on a tablet, it can sync up to all of those things. But basically, it has an audio recorder inside the pen. So as I'm writing notes, it can record everything that is being said. So for each page, I can have a separate recording going on. And then I can go back to those notes. And while I'm reading through my notes, I can press play on the audio. And for each page, I can read along with my notes I wrote down and with what the professor or the classroom teacher is saying. And that can be a great way to just overall tie your notes, learning, and all that together while you're in school. And it has, again, smart paper over here. So it has like play, pause, record buttons that are embedded in the actual paper themselves. And then I can tap on the play, pause, record, and so forth with my pen itself. And it'll actually take that action and perform that. So if I want to pause recording, I can just tap on the paper and hit pause, and it'll stop the recording. So really cool device, really groundbreaking. It takes the pen to the next level. It makes it higher tech. So that can be scary for some, is that, it does require, storing that data somewhere, syncing it with other devices. But really, once you get the hang of it, this can be a really cool device, especially with classroom learning. And it is 2022 now. So I did want to get into a little bit about computer access, and other devices to assist with getting on the computer, because oftentimes that is what's used in the classroom, is just overall computer use. A lot of students have laptops now. So there's different mice that exist out there, and that can be anything like a trackball mouse, like up here, and that is a mouse that can help prevent someone from having to use all this windshield wiper motion and going all over the desk mousing, or even using a mouse pad that's on a laptop built in might not be the best option. So having different options out there can be great. And a trackball mouse, basically I can scroll that ball, and as I scroll the ball, it'll move the mouse across the screen, left, right, up, or down. So it can be a little bit more ergonomic. It can help you take up less desk space, as I don't have to mouse all over the place. And it might give, uh, it could give users a little bit more stability with mousing, as if there's any shakiness or unsteadiness, then being able to just scroll the ball slowly and I can get it exactly where I want it. And then I can click, left click, right click, and so forth, instead of having to constantly battle my own movements and struggling with actually clicking on the links that I would like and so forth. And there's also like joystick mice. So like down here in these bottom two images, that there are mouses. So I can just hold the joystick down, left or right, up or down, and it can move that mouse across the screen by just controlling a joystick. So again, that could be easier for some users to use, and especially for anyone who has tremors or unsteady hand movements, or anyone who might have any kind of dexterity or any kind of congenital disabilities that they've had since birth. Just being able to press a joystick can be much easier than trying to grasp a mouse. So I just wanted to highlight a couple of those options. There's also switch activated mice. So again, so over here, this is a trackball mouse, and this is also Bluetooth. So we actually have one of these here, and this is a great mouse. As a trackball mouse, and you have left and right click up here at the top in these blue buttons. But you can also plug in accessibility switches into this device. So it has two ports. It has a port on the left side over here and a port on the right side that I can plug in an accessibility switch, which is also shown here at the bottom, red and yellow. And accessibility switches are basically just buttons. It's a button that I can press and have an action performed. So that's called switches in the AT community. And accessibility switches can be used for lots and lots of different things, but right here in this instance, it's used for left and right clicking on a mouse. So for anyone who might need a larger target, and that clicking on a mouse, just a regular mouse, does require a bit of fine motor control and dexterity with finger movements. I guess you could, hit it with your palm or anything else, but that can be very difficult while trying to mouse. So being able to slap or press a switch might be a much easier target and could, overall make a difference in someone being able to mouse and overall navigate the computer and click on what they would like to. And I just wanted to show that there are lots of other mice that exist for anyone with excuse me really quick. Yeah, for anyone who has more complex needs, is having something like a chin mouse, can be a great way to get on the computer and navigate by just using your chin. And this can be set up on a mounting device. So for anyone who might use a power wheelchair or any other kind of wheelchair, really, it can be mounted to a desk. It can be mounted anywhere, and then I can actually mount or mouse with my chin. So again, this could be great for anyone with spinal cord injury, any kind of brain injury, MS, CP, and so forth. So this can be a great way to access the computer with just using your chin. I did want to kind of show this other mouse here that's pretty unique. It does butt just right up against the keyboard right here. And this is a mouse, although it looks kind of just like a pad, but it's the roller mouse, and it has a little bar right here that is black. And I can actually roll this bar. I can roll it up and back, like away from me and towards me, and that'll actually mouse up and down the screen. And then I can take that bar and I can slide it left, I can slide it right, and that'll mouse left and right. And then it does have a few features down here as well, like copy, paste, left click, right click, and so forth. So it's just like a different take on a standard mouse. It's supposed to be more ergonomic, and it might be easier to use with a laptop, that instead of having a mouse out on your desk laterally to the left or right, as I can have that mouse right in front of me. As long as I have enough desk space, it can just attach right in front of the keyboard, and it's pretty much plug and play. I don't think there's any software that's involved with this, just a USB plugin. I can plug that right into the computer and start mousing immediately. So I wanted to show that. And also over here, this is the Glass House. This is a really, really cool device for computer access, and could absolutely be used in the school setting, because this could be used for anyone who might, again, have more complex needs, anyone with any kind of upper extremity, amputations or anything that involves them not being able to mouse and type on a keyboard, is that I can actually put these on. So this is the Glass Ouse, and that name is from the device being part glasses and part mouse. So it's a very intuitive name there, is that I can actually wear these glasses on my ears, just like any set of standard glasses or sunglasses. And that is now your mouse, is that it sits right here on your eyes. It has a sensor that sits pretty much eyebrow level. And if I turn my head, it does connect via Bluetooth. And that can attach to an iPad, a phone, tablets, and also laptops. And basically, this is now my mouse. I can move my head, and that sensor, it moves the mouse. So I can move up and down, left and right, and I can mouse all across the computer or phone without using my hands at all. So this is a really cool device. And it has another feature that's really cool, is that it has a switch port that plugs kind of like right over here. So kind of in the frame, kind of over by your eyes. And it has a really cool option of the bite switch. So I can actually plug a bite switch into those glasses, and it kind of feeds down, and they have their own that they actually sell with this device. And that bite switch feeds down, and I can kind of sit it between my teeth or sit it in my mouth. And then instead of having to left or right click with a mouse, just a regular mouse or some other kind of option, then I can actually bite the bite switch, and I can click that way. So I can move my head and I can bite, and I can click and drag things. I can open up web browsers. I can pull up an on-screen keyboard, and I can type by just using my head and using the Glass Ouse. We do have this device, and I have loaned it out to a few individuals, and I've had really great feedback about this device. A lot of people really find it useful, functional, and it works well. So I did want to touch on the Glass Ouse there. And while we're still on computer access, as this is oftentimes how people learn these days, is a lot of computer learning, being virtual, especially with the pandemic, everything was virtual. Even our services turned into being extremely virtual. And I was doing consultations on Zoom, which we're still doing, by the way. So if anyone's not able to ever travel to our central location, I can always meet via Zoom and have a consultation that way. And I can actually ship products straight to you. But anyway, other keyboards that exist, like this is a split keyboard. So like this is more for ergonomics, but for anyone who might find it more relaxing to be able to kind of separate the keyboards, maybe I need my arms kind of angled in a different way, then this is a great option. Whoops, skipping around here. There's also contrasted keyboards. So for anyone who might need just a higher contrast and being able to see the prints better that way, being able to see the keys better, learning the keyboard, even for anyone who's just starting to use keyboards and mice. This could be a great option. That they also have keyboards with large keys, so that makes them bigger, so you can see them better because the contrast, also because the size of the keys are larger. And this could be a great option for anyone who wants to type and just be able to see the keys better. There are also keyboards that have key guards, and a key guard is basically an overlay that goes around each of the keys, as shown in these pictures. And this can allow people who, again, might have any of that fine motor control or dexterity limitations. It can give them the ability to just press one key at a time instead of accidentally hitting the space in between keys, maybe hitting two keys at once. And it can also be used well in conjunction with a slip-on typing aid. And a slip-on typing aid is basically what's shown in these pictures, is that I can slip this around my wrist or my forearm, and it gives me a point that I can press the keys with. So again, for anyone who has dexterity or fine motor control limitations, I can put on a slip-on typing aid and I can better type that way. And also other keyboards exist, just like one-handed keyboards. And these do come in different shapes and sizes. So there are options for anyone one-handed and wishes to type a little bit more effectively, instead of having a whole large, just regular QWERTY keyboard, having other options could be a little bit more conducive to some. There are also other keyboards that are just smaller. So we have one over here. I put a pen for size. This is actually right out of our library here. And it might be easier to type with a smaller keyboard. So that's just another option. It's as if you were texting on an old BlackBerry, is having something this small. And again, there's on-screen keyboards. And this can be used with like the glass ouse or with eye gaze technology, which I didn't really discuss yet, but the eye gaze technology exists, and you can actually purchase these eye gaze bars that can go pretty much on the bottom of your screen or mounted on the top of a computer screen. And it has calibration settings, so I can calibrate it to my eyes. So it would tell me to like look left and then look right, look up and down, and it'll see how my pupils move across the screen when I'm looking left and looking right. It'll calibrate that to my eyes, and then it basically uses your pupils as the mouse. So wherever I look, that's the mouse, and I can navigate a computer. I can pull up an on-screen keyboard. I can search the web with just using my eyes. And it has a feature called the dwell timer. And basically, instead of having to click or left click or right click, I can dwell on something and I can set how long this is. But I could set the dwell timer for 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 5 or 10 seconds even. And basically, I have to look at something for that long, and then a little timer will start. And then once that timer completes with however long I set that, it'll click on that for me. So having a dwell timer can be a great way to interact with eye gaze technology and be able to better operate through the computer. And while you're on the computer, there are also a number of built-in accessibility features. I'm not going to go through each and every one of these because there's quite a lot. But for anyone who might be low vision, who might need, any assistance with captioning, hearing, and so on and so forth, there's built-in settings that can and should be utilized for anyone who could benefit from them. So it's things like I could make the mouse just larger on the screen so I can actually see it. I can make the cursor also larger. I can change color filters, so I can change the contrast of my screen. I can make things stand out a little bit better. I can also set up eye gaze control over here, which is through the ease of access. So if you're on Windows computers, it's called ease of access. And if you're on a Mac or an iPhone or an iPad, it's just in the settings, it's just called accessibility, as it's shown over here. And there's all kinds of different things in there that can help with all kinds of disabilities. It can help with things like text to speech. This is built into your Windows computer, iOS, Mac OS. They have text to speech, or I'm sorry, speech to text, or otherwise known as dictation. So I can dictate what I want to type or speak. So this can also help in classroom settings where writing or typing is not an option, but being able to dictate your messages for typing papers, emails, and so on and so forth. Also writing notes. This can be a great way to do so by speaking out loud. And there is the free software built into your computer or your phone, but there are also higher tech softwares that can be purchased, which is like Dragon Naturally Speaking is that's the name of one software that's pretty popular out there. There are others, and that does come with a price. So if the built-in software is just not doing it for you, or you want to take it to the next level, you can always use Dragon Naturally Speaking or one of the other ones for dictating messages. And again, this is just another picture here of someone dictating a text message on an iPhone. And I want to show this because this can go great in conjunction with speech to text technology. And this is a microphone. So if you are doing dictation or speech to text, it's great to have a microphone to increase accuracy with the computer. It can hear you better. It can hear you enunciate. It can hear the words. And I like this microphone a whole lot, which we do have one here, is that it goes around your mouth, kind of like this gentleman is showing in this picture down here, and it's got nice cushioning. And when you speak into it, it really, really drowns out your own voice, so others around you don't hear it. So still a microphone, still accurate when plugged in, but it gives you a little bit more discretion. So everyone around me doesn't have to hear what I'm writing all the time. Or if I don't want them to hear what I'm writing, maybe I want to write some notes privately. I know I wouldn't want everyone looking at my notes all the time. And having a microphone like this can be a great way to have that discretion and increase accuracy and eliminate background noise all at the same time. I want to talk about a couple of hearing devices that could be utilized in the classroom to help with learning. And this could be something like assistive listening devices. This could be something like the pocket talker. And this is basically a very simple device. It's got a headphone jack and a microphone on it. And basically, wherever I point that microphone, or I can clip it on my belt or on my pants, it has a little clip attached to it. And wherever that microphone is pointing, then basically absorbs that sound and produces it in the headphones at a much higher volume. So the pocket talker can be a great way to boost the sound in your surroundings at a relatively low cost. Or something like the Ryzen Mighty Loud Ear. The company is Ryzen. The AT device is the Mighty Loud Ear, and this is almost the same thing, just a different vendor or a company here. Again, microphones and headphones sound louder, and that's just really simplifying it. Here's another one that looks and acts like hearing aids, but it's not a hearing aid, although it looks like one, but it does plug into your ears and kind of can sit behind your ears, much like a hearing aid would. But a lot cheaper than hearing aids. This is for the price of $3.99 out of the box. You can have a device like this. It pairs up with Bluetooth. It's got different listening modes, so you can dial it in for maybe inside or outside hearing. It can kind of make like certain settings adjustments and help increase your ability to hear. It can also sync with your computer. So maybe I'm tuning into a Zoom classroom and I'm virtually learning. I can put this on there and I can hear just a little bit better through the Bluetooth connection, as well as for phone calls, music, and things as well. And here's another one that I really like a lot for classroom learning. And this is the Clear Sounds Quattro. It's called the Quattro Pro by the company Clear Sounds. And the Quattro Pro operates much like the Pocket Talker and Mighty Loud Ear, but this one's a little bit different. It has a headphone jack to plug in headphones and boost your sound, just like the other ones did. But the cool feature of this one is that on this lanyard is where I have my speaker. I can just hang it right on my lanyard here. I can actually pop that microphone off that absorbs the sound and transmits that sound to my headphones. I can pop off that microphone and it still is connected. It's all Bluetooth connected and the headphones in my ears, but I can take that microphone off the lanyard and I can sit it across the room. So if I'm a student and I'm learning, and maybe I'm late to class that day, or maybe my assigned seat is just towards the back, maybe I didn't ask the teacher to sit up front, then I can actually put that microphone up by the teacher's desk, or maybe by the podium, or wherever they speak and have lectures. And I could have that next to them speaking, so that it can absorb the sound from them and transmit it straight to my headphones wherever I might be in that room. And I think these are good for 100 feet or so. And it can be a great way for someone to be able to hear louder from all parts of a room. So this can be great for classroom learning. And let's talk about a couple organizational things that might be able to help certain individuals. And this could be things like just having a schedule, right? A calendar. This could be like an app, the individuals of age to have a smartphone or something like that while they're learning. Then having your calendar just laid out for you every day, each class, from this time to this time, break, like get a snack, having your whole day outlined can help individuals who might be easily distracted, and just, or, have ADD or ADHD or anything else that might kind of just overall just kind of not help them be able to stick to a schedule. Maybe they kind of bounce around, or anything like that. Having a calendar and a schedule that outlines their day can be a great way to stay on task and get through your day and accomplish all the things that you want to accomplish. And I use my Google Calendar for almost everything. And I can be oftentimes quite forgetful. So I always map out my day with every meeting, everything I'm doing, pretty much itemized by the half hour so that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. So that can be a great way to increase school learning and staying on task. And other things could also be just low tech AT, right? Like it could be just like a whiteboard or even just a printed out schedule that's in someone's binder or attached to the student's agenda or anything like that. That just tells them kind of like what to expect that day or that week or that month, and help them stay on task and on track. So having any kind of low tech calendar can be great too. I love a good dry erase board so I can be able to write things out and erase them when they're done and not have to always have a paper calendar. And there is actually an app that's free that I really like. I have it on my iPhone and it's called Reminder, and it has reminders with voice. So basically kind of like a Google Calendar or any other calendar that I can add events and I can add reminders. But with this app is that I can actually record my own voice, or maybe mom or dad's voice can be recorded so that as that alarm would go off, I might have a beeping go off, or it might go boop boop, and then it'll say like I have a meeting coming up in 10 minutes, or or just class starts in 30 minutes, whatever it's set as. I can make, instead of doing a beeping noise or some kind of alarm, is that I can actually record a voice. I can record my voice or mom or dad's voice. So instead of the alarm going off, it would be the voice that could say, hey, James, time to go to school, or hey, James, time to brush your teeth. And I could do that. So that way I would have the alarm reminder, I would have that reminder itself, and it would have a voice that's familiar to me and that might just to help me connect the dots a little bit better. I could say, hey, time for homework at 6 p.m. So I do like that app as well. It's on the Apple App Store. And it's called Reminders with Voice. And also students can oftentimes benefit from like graphic organizers, right? And this can be considered like low tech assistive technologies, just being able to have like visual representations of your thoughts. And that can really help people express their thoughts on paper. And anyone who could be a visual learner who needs to have their ideas mapped out, graphic organizers are a great way to do that. And you don't need technology either. You don't need to have a laptop. You don't need any kind of fancy stuff. It could be just on paper and just having outlines of these graphic organizers, and the students can fill in those outlines. And I have seen research right here that's quoted that it can assist with students with learning disabilities to improve the quality of their writing. So even just having graphic organizers can improve the quality of writing. And it can also improve organizational framework to help writers generate topics and content for writing projects. It can assist with planning and the organizational stages of writing and using concept mapping that can increase the quality and quantity of writing. And graphic organizers are a visual thinking tools to help you picture your thoughts. So that could be anything like a Venn diagram or a main idea web, or concept mapping, sequence charting, T-charts for anything that you might be just listing, and so on and so forth. So just having graphic or visual representations of the task at hand and what you're learning that day can be great ways to just improve overall comprehension, also generate ideas, increase writing speeds, and so on and so forth. So I don't want to go over too long, so I want to save time for questions if there are any. So we do have info right here on how to contact us or find us on social media. We have a Facebook, we have a TikTok right now that is being ran by my colleague Nora Walker, and she has all kinds of educational and funny and cool videos on our TikTok about different AT devices. So you should go ahead and give us a follow if you're on the platform, and just always check out our content and see what kind of devices are coming out and what kind of skits we're putting together that can sometimes be goofy, but they're usually fun. And here is our address, phone numbers, and I can also type my personal email and phone number into the chat box. So if anyone would like to contact me for more questions or for me to elaborate on anything, I will be happy to do so. I'm going to type that in the chat now and typing my phone number as well. So please email or call me with any questions, concerns. And I do have this webinar recorded, so I will post this to our website. And that way it can be viewed again, and I will open it up to any questions anybody might have and close it out there. So I appreciate everyone joining us today. And I see a question from Mohammed. And that's kind of more of a personal question about our program. I want to know if I bring you my device full of apps for communications I don't know how to use. So yeah, I mean, I can absolutely help you with your computer. Yeah, I don't know what apps that are on there, so it just depends how much experience I have with them as to how much help I can offer. But I'd be certainly happy to sit down with you and talk about apps and offer any advice or guidance that I might be able to have and have a conversation. So that's a great question. What about any screen readers? And screen readers can be great as well for anyone who might be blind, low vision. A screen reader is an excellent device that can read off what's on your screen for you, help you navigate the computer. I didn't get into those today because we don't have software that we loan out. So we're not able to loan out things like JAWS, screen readers, and so forth. But there are screen readers that are built in to most softwares these days. On Windows 10 PC computers, it's called Narrator, and that can read off on your screen through the narrator. On Apple iOS products, it's called VoiceOver, and it can also read off your screen there. And the very popular one that people would purchase, I'm not exactly sure how much money it is, I can't recall, is JAWS. And JAWS is a very popular screen reader, and that could be a great assistive technology software to help people with learning in school. So that's a great comment or a question there, and I do appreciate that. And the question, are there any screen reader apps for smartphones? Yeah, so like I was just mentioning, Apple products like iPhones, they have, it's called VoiceOver, and that is built directly into the accessibility settings. Android, I'd have to look at what it's called, but on Windows computers, they have it, it's called Narrator. But I know for a fact on iPads and iPhones, it's called VoiceOver. And so for anyone who's blind or low vision, it's not just a screen reader, but it can actually help you navigate the phone without having to see anything. So by just swiping left or right, I can swipe through apps. I can swipe through all different kinds of functions on my phone. And then every time I scroll, but I can swipe. Each time it scrolls to a new app or a new line of text, it'll read that out loud. And then I can double tap on it and I can open up that application. And so forth, but it can also just read what's on the screen as well as a screen reader. So yeah, again, great question. And there are built-in softwares on smartphones, tablets, and most PCs. I know Windows 10 has Narrator. I'm not sure what year that came out, so I'm not sure if the older softwares have it, but I know the newer ones do. Absolutely. And you are welcome, Nikki. And any other questions about blind low vision devices for school, deaf hard of hearing devices, reading, writing, keyboarding, mousing? I tried to kind of give like a overall encompassing just array of things that might be used in the classroom, and it really could, a lot of things can be justified for classroom learning. But I wanted to just kind of touch on a few of the popular, probably most frequently used things like keyboards, mice, pencils, and so forth. So I'll leave it open for just a few more seconds for questions. And if there aren't any, I want to thank everyone again for coming out today and being a part of this webinar and tuning in. And I want to thank everyone for the questions. And please reach out if you'd like to schedule a consultation for you or your son, daughter, or mom or dad. I mean, we do all ages. It's a totally free program, so we don't require any kind of invoice or billing or insurance. Totally free working with me. And I put the contact info in the chat again for anyone who called in. I believe we had one call in. It is 410-554-9276, and that's my personal office line. And if I don't answer, just leave me a message and I'll be sure to get back to you. And with that, I don't see any more questions. So thank you again, everyone. I'm going to log off now and end this. And please reach out. And I'll see you at the next one. Thanks.